So yeah, this has been, Sunniva was just checking the SAS terminal.
Traveling with dogs is no joke, you know. You gotta find out. First, you gotta find out what kind of requirements the country that you're traveling to has for their dogs. For us, it'll be rabies vaccine up to date, and then I checked, and then they're like, in Sweden, only 3 rabies vaccinations types are approved, and that had me in a state of panic because the vaccine that they've received here is not on that list. But it's on the other master list of containing like 50 different vaccines. So hopefully that's okay. They don't need anything else. They're gonna need a health certificate check. Oh god. That needs to be done within, I don't remember how long, but kind of right before we leave. So I've got the form sent from Sweden, and we gotta fill that out.
Yeah, and we were just going.
Oh no, I'm not done.
Okay.
I'm not done.
Good.
I'm gonna fill that out, and then I gotta have all the crates ready. You know, luckily we have the 2 for the big dogs, and they're huge. We're gonna get them in. You're gonna
Yeah,
get to
you
see
guys
how
will
big
get to
they
see
are.
them maybe in the next
And then
episode.
I've ordered one for Willow, and likely everybody gonna think I'm an idiot because I ordered a big one. It's kind of like, I guess it's this big, and I don't know if you've seen the dog. She's tiny, but I don't want her to be stuffed into a small crate, and she's going international travel. She's going to be in that crate for 10, 11 hours. And so I picked the medium-sized crate. Don't roll your eyes at me. We can send it back. I don't want to shove her into tiny crate.
No, I understand this. In fact,
she's a tall
in my
dog,
confessional, I just addressed this. It's good timing.
They measure it, the height. You know, from the top, with dogs with pointy ears, they measure the top of the pointy ears.
Yeah.
So, and then she gets kind of tall, so.
So anyway, we were just, it's not just the logistics of 2 children and 300 pounds worth of luggage. We have to assemble these massive crates. You'll see, they're the size of these couches.
I'm hoping that we can get to...
It's the size of this couch.
It's big enough so that we can have at least 2 of the crates assembled in the car. 1 big and 1 small. And then, but I don't know.
This is part of why the fund, even though our airline tickets are purchased, it's costing us so much.
And
yeah.
yes, it is always this noisy event.
It is always this noisy. We have to rent like an expedition-sized vehicle to get the crates, the 3 dogs, the baby seat, Gabby, 2 humans, and again about 300 pounds of luggage. Wow. I mean, if you can just imagine. Now imagine the scene pulling into O'Hare International Airport where we have to assemble these crates.
See, if I didn't wear him on my back like I always does, this would be a problem. But I'll be wearing him.
It's still going to be a little bit of a problem, but
3 dogs in the airport, and I've decided to not go with any kind of calming
pills for the dogs.
So they may be a little anxious. So in my head, I'm planning where can we go for a nice long walk before we get on the plane, and then he can get a nap, and you know. So we gotta. Okay, how do we find an area where we can go for a nice, long, safe walk
around O'Hare or in Chicago? That's what was just coming up. I was saying to her, why don't we just get to O'Hare 5 hours early? The dogs. I'm like, oh crap. Yeah. You know, you suddenly forget about this thing. When they came, they were shipped from Oslo to New York. Her family helped us on that side. So we were just there receiving them. Yeah. It should have been videotaped. I mean, it was an emotional reunion. Zip ties had to be clipped as fast as they could.
Zip ties?
Yeah, as fast as they could to let them out. We were nearly in tears, and they were dollied in, and her sister from Norway. I get goosebumps actually remembering that moment. Sunniva was, you know, concerned. I talked in my confessional that I just filmed myself. Sunniva doesn't know yet about her fears based on the safety of the dogs. That's why we went non-stop. The odds go down dramatically when there's no layover for injuries or anything to happen to the dogs. So that's why we've gone to these enormous lengths. It's for the safety of the dogs, and that's Solgave and her mental health. But it's also Solgave. It's children, adults, and dogs safety. It is part of the ethos, and it's part of our peculiarity, and paradox, but here we go, you know.
So a lot of hassle goes into traveling with 3 animals, and then we got to pay for their
tickets, so to speak. Yeah, which is part of where we're
At
this.
the airport.
Yeah, at the airport, cash. We've handled our adult side, but that's yeah. You guys that have followed these episodes or subscribe, I think we explained in the first one why we're had decided to do this so quickly, and if we haven't, it'll kind of come out in each little episode. But a large part of it relied on Gabby's school, and if we were
she'll
gonna
be one day late to school, but that was the only way we could do it because of the plane tickets were so expensive.
They went down by half by literally waiting till the first day of her school.
Yeah.
So when you're talking thousands of dollars, it was no question we had to go that route. So yeah,
she knows most of, or a lot of the students she'll be in with, and she's so I think her first day will.
And I talked about that in a little bit too. We are in sync, honey, because I just did a little confessional video and addressed these same things. Gabby starting school that first day, and yeah. Anyway, we're down to the 18-day countdown. This will go in episode 3, and we got a lot of stuff to liquidate. We're gonna do lemonade stand at our garage sale. I told Soon if it comes down to the last 7 days, I'll put an ad out there that I will clean garages, pick up brush. You know, she does have some dog training skills. We're gonna do whatever.
I don't think we're gonna have time for that
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah, and well, we'll do what we got to do. We're not where we need to be yet, but we have faith in the
I
universe.
can cut dogs' nails.
Yeah, we may have a nail trimming fundraiser. Make some waffles when somebody's bought the
Or
waffle maker.
Pancakes. We can make
Norwegian pancakes
style
with ham
pancakes.
rolled up in them. They're delicious. Okay.
Or bacon, or ice cream, or whatever it is you want.
And if anybody, I gotta say, because we haven't done much in the virtual fundraiser, we've anybody that has, a couple of you have donated. Well, never mind. I'll make that posting.
Private yoga classes.
Oh yeah, that's come up. Brandy Malloy has said she would donate
3 sessions.
3 sessions with a value of like $150. So we're gonna get that up there tonight, and thank you, Brandy. It's like people in the community are rallying around us, and we've tried to rally as best we can. It's been a hard journey. We're not asking for sympathy, and we're not asking for handouts. We were given so much upon arrival, but the nature of how and why we made the decision to move so quickly meant that suddenly things are in a state of...
If you do want to travel with dogs, you can just reach out, because I know the list.
She knows the list. How to travel, yeah, internet
Travel
safely with your dogs.
We found the acoustic
My son loves music, and that makes my heart just...
cut.
Okay, cut. I wouldn't do too many of these driving ones because... But it's kind of like the confessional, you know? If this was the real world in 1994. I just got off the phone with my mom. I was just... You know, I was saying what I said, I think, in a status this morning, like, there's 18 days now. I can't really wrap my head around everything that we need to do. So I'm not trying to. We are getting things done each day, but if I were to actually sit and write out what has to be accomplished to get us there safely, I would go, I think it was the episode we just aired with Cinema jokingly said, when I said, how do we do this? And she said, burn the house down. I'm cracking up as I did that night. She's funny. Most people don't see her as funny, but she's really funny. Or maybe everybody sees her as funny. I don't know. How am I, Jared? I'll interview myself on a tired scale. 7. I slept on Gabby's bottom bunk last night, which is the most comfortable one. She's coming home from Nana's. We, you know, I was just giving a little bit of input on the trip to Chicago, you know, how we're pulling it off, the size vehicle we need to fit these 2 dog crates, 3 dogs, Neo, car seat, Gabby, and enough luggage that we're sort of, you know, we're sending it some big bags, right? Loading them to that 50-pound weight limit. It's a bit daunting. If it wasn't for the New York City trip that we did document, remember we had to ship the dogs from then Oslo straight to New York. because of the size crates and the safety factor. Sunniva did not want to do layovers. The stats, while still really safe, go down dramatically in terms of what could happen to a dog if they're needed to be lifted out of one airport and put into another plane. So that's Solgave right there. A lot more work, but for the safety of any human or child, animal, and the safety welfare, we will go at all costs. And luckily, SAS, Scandinavian Airline, also goes to Chicago, so our drive is much shorter. Now, with a 1-year-old, it's going to probably seem like the same as the New York City. We went there and back in 72 hours. We picked her sister up, who had to fly with the dog. Somebody has to be in the airline to do it the way they do SAS. And again, this time we're going Chicago to Stockholm. It'll take both her dad's car and mom to get these huge crates and her luggage and us there. So that's like a 7-hour drive for her dad at least. 5.5 hours, I think, from Hella, her mom. And then we will make the long, slow trip back because, again, we've got a 1-year-old and a 6-year-old and all these dogs back to the farm. And Gabby starts school the next day. She'll actually be 1 day late. We're making progress. Let me state the positives. Our pack walks, which I'm about to post a video, I'm so excited about the future. We're shifting the energy back fully into what really our heart has always been, but it's been misinterpreted, and there were some misalignments in the beginning, and you know, it's a clean slate. So we are going to be picking charities each month. Can I go this way? Yeah, okay. We're going to be picking charities each month, both animal and human and otherwise, things that are part of the pillars of Solgave. So children's shelter, the women's battered shelter, a drug treatment center, animal rescues like Old Men's Riverfront, the Humane Society, ones we've worked with before. I'm picking up my wife now, so I'm going to stop this clip. Episode 3. So what's up?
I have been thinking about just looking around. Actually, I was looking at the desk and it's so full of stuff, and I was thinking like almost everything has to go, and we've done this before. And you lost a bunch of stuff from even your childhood in a storage auction. And I don't think most people think about it because they don't have to think about it, you know. They move, but they don't move too far. So if they thin down, that's pretty much what they do. They don't ever thin down to nothing. Careful. And it's like, I think there was some enlightened person, some Buddhist person, who said that to be able to go as far as you can go, in a way, you'll have to be willing to give it all up. And that's not just material possessions, of course, but it's a big part of it, and we're living in a very materialistic society, especially America. And people are so used to their things, they never think about that they would have to, you know, surrender all of them down to the very last thing. You know, I had a bunch of my favorite clothes sent over with like my mom or my sister or whatever. Ashna! And I'm giving up almost all of them. And it was like, it was clothes that I really loved. And, you know, the people who know me know that I'm not a clothes person, so. But I wear kind of like 5 t-shirts and two pairs of jeans, and I love them. I wear them until there's nothing left. And I'm giving that up now. That, you know, it's not a huge sacrifice. That's not why I'm saying it. I'm saying it because there are people out there with huge walk-in closets. There's so many clothes that they're, you know, they never get to even wear them all. And yet, you know, I'm blessed. I'm so blessed to have enough clothes to put on my body. You know, it just spurs all this thinking. And there are people out there who does not have that. And there are people out there who are freezing cold, you know, in colder climates with not enough clothes. There are children out there starving, and it's such a good thing to let go of your material possessions. It does something to your spirit, I feel. When we get rid of even, you know, like little things, oh, it may mean a lot to me, but then what is it in the end? You know, in the end it's nothing. In the end it's a thing. In the end it's what's in here, and, you know, here that matters. Not what we own, not, you know, how fancy our curtains are, or how nice our couch is. And it's really nice that it's just sold, and I spent quite a lot of time cleaning it. But so yeah, it's a good exercise, and it's an exercise that I've done quite a few times. And when I traveled when I was younger, everything I owned fit in a suitcase. And it's kind of the same way now. Everything I own will fit in a suitcase again. But we're going back to the farm where there's a couple of things, you know, there's a bed and there's little things, and we're bringing some of our art and, you know, things that mean something to us. But it doesn't matter. That's not what's important. And that's what's nice about having a gypsy heart, I guess. It's that you really figure out what matters. So that's what I wanted to say.
Well said.
So I've been thinking about it. Cleaning out again.
This may be the closeout of episode 3. We've had a few compelling clips, and we're just going to keep on keeping on. This will get really interesting as we get closer to figuring out the logistics of all the animals and the crates and the international flight and the timeline and the budget and all that. But we are at day 18. Dog couch is sold to a client, or a employee. Actually, we worked out a trade with that in the microwave. Our couch set that we cleaned up really good, and it's a nice couch set that we got with the house. It's sold today. Dishwasher, picnic table, my bike, the second car, a lamp there that we'll be donating. Still now all the little junk that goes in the yard sale that we're having Friday and Saturday. And then that Sunday I start intensely working with the team. We've got a lot of things in place, but it's just, I'll feel better going through every possible scenario with some of the ones that have yet to see things firsthand. Couple logistics on the primary phone number and who's going to handle the calls, and looking at technological ways that I may be able to still take those. But we're really excited about everything. It's bedtime. Neo's asleep in bedtime. Soon and I will then get to work. This is kind of the pace for the next 18 days. Whatever pet sits we've got and dog stuff. Navigating around. Not just a wish, but kind of a necessity to get everything that you've collected gone for both practical and necessary reasons. So I think I'm going to close that episode 3 this way. There were some interesting scenarios, but as we inch closer, the stress will get a little higher, but the intensity and excitement will too. How we board the flights, how we build the crates at Heathrow, hoping there's no snags. First time Neo's been on an international flight. He's been to the islands and back, but we did the shortest flight possible with the trade winds and the time of day, it's like just under 8 hours. My flight from Dallas to London was 13 hours, so it could vary greatly depending on the route the planes take on the international flights. So, um, I think everything is good. Yeah. Once we hit Saturday, I go all team. That's working on client relations. Everybody's kind of been handed off to a team member, um, and working on those kind of logistics. And the last few that haven't, we'll do the best we can to work out the relationship. The sitters and walkers we have are the best we've ever had, and finally the work from behind the scenes, the office work. Once we get land and have like our 2-day jet lag period over, we'll see the best work we've ever done. The ideas that are already coming in through our chats, so I'm like blowing my mind. I'm so excited about our chair.